morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're going to be taking a look at a brand new deck over in Japan, which has been winning at the very first opportunity. And it's, well, it depends how you look at it, right? It's either all built around Volcarona, or it's all built around the new Silvally GX. Whichever way it goes, I expect this to be a very good deck. Yes, I know Japan are playing Sun and Moon on at the moment, and we're playing Ultra Prism on, but as I keep saying, in these videos, we will be focusing on decks that will be alright in our format, and that you should expect to see play. So Volcarona then, what does it actually do? Well, Volcarona is a lovely Pokemon. It's got an ability whereby once during your turn, you may discard a fire energy from your hand and then place 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Cool. So all we really need to do here is make sure that we get a little bit of fire energy in our hand, get ourselves a few Volcarona out, and then you can be spreading damage around quite nicely. Now, you might be able to KO the odd really weak Pokemon doing this, but we are going to need a main attacker. Now, for its own cause, Volcarona here it's fine, but it's not really the main attacker we're looking for here. It does 160 for free energy. What I will say is, it is at least nice enough to put 2 of those energy back into your hand, so that you can then reattach them with Welder to this Pokemon or a different one the following turn. They get credit for that, ladies and gentlemen. They get credit for that. But our main attacker here is the new Silvally GX. And Silvally GX, ladies and gentlemen, is phenomenal. I think it's utterly over the top phenomenal. The ability is the same as Octillery's. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 5 in hand. The thing is, Octillery was a bench sitter that didn't really do any attacking and was a little bit rubbish and annoying. That is not what we can say about Silvally here. Silvally's got attacks. And what attacks they are. The first attack, 2 colourless energy, 50 damage, but if you play the support this turn, you do 120. So you should be doing 120 pretty much every turn. So you're sitting there doing 120 damage for a double colourless energy. Now, generally speaking, 120 damage isn't quite enough. It doesn't do enough. But that's where Volcarona comes in. You see, Volcarona comes around doing 20 damage here, there, and everywhere. That puts a whole bunch of stuff in range, and as soon as they're in range, off you go, ladies and gentlemen. Off you go. Now, there is a GX attack here which I like very much as well. It is a Alolan Ninetales' GX attack. If the defending Pokemon is an Ultra Beast, automatic KO. And it might not work. The defending Pokemon might not be an Ultra Beast, but they might be. And if they are an Ultra Beast and you get an automatic straight away guaranteed 1-hit KO, I'm alright with that. That seems fine to me, ladies and gentlemen. That seems absolutely fine by me. If it doesn't work, don't use it, but if you find yourself against something like a Blacephalon deck and they're out there, easy 1-hit KO. Now, the thing that interests me about this list, and when you remake it, you can of course do as you like, there are no memory cards in this list. Now, what you could do is play something like a Water Memory, for instance. Water Memory will allow you to do 120 damage times by 2 for water weakness. Not quite enough to get a 1-hit KO on Reshiram and Charizard, until you remember you're spreading damage around a little bit with Volcarona, and then you are getting a 1-hit KO and life is good. Now, Fighting Memory will then allow you to get a 1-hit KO on, for instance, a Pikachu and Zekrom. The problem with that is it actually came around in Crimson Invasion and is not going to be in our format when this is legal, which is a little bit of a pain. And while we're talking about bad news, Psychic Memory has also rotated out, so you won't be able to use that to get a 1-hit KO, well, with a bit of Volcarona, on Mewtwo and Mew. But there are still a bunch out there. There are still a bunch you can use, and certainly Water Memory is one that you should definitely be considering here. Now, we are losing a couple of things that Japan aren't. We have a slightly different format to them. They're Sun and Moon on, we're Ultra Prism on. The big difference here is Choice Band. Choice Band is one that they still have that we don't. Choice Band plus Volcarona gets that extra damage out quite nicely. And not only do we not have Choice Band at the moment, we don't have many ways to get extra damage rolling. Now there is one cool combo you can do here, and that is use Electric Memory, which we will still have, with Electro Power, and actually get an extra 30 damage that way, and they would stack. That is one option you've got here. If you really want the extra 30 damage, that will be an option, and you got Water Memory as well. Obviously you can't use Water Memory and Lightning Memory, but you can choose between them depending on the matchup. The fact of the matter is, you do decent damage for low energy. I mean, it's 2 energy, right? Just use a welder. Boom, you've got the energy on your rolling. And you're dropping extra damage with Volcarona. You can always attack with Volcarona. It's got a decent attack. This is looking nice. Now, in terms of other Pokemon, we play Ditto Prism Star. You're playing Stage 1s. Any Stage 1 deck should be playing it. Either like here, you've got multiple Stage 1s and it lets you grab either, or you are only playing 1 and this gives you a 5th basic. Either way, it's great. And then we've got a mixture of Tapu Lele and Dedenne. Tapu Lele searches out supporters, Dedenne discards your hand and draws you a new hand of 6 cards. The only Pokemon in this deck that is rotating for us is Tapu Lele, so you can add in stuff like Dedenne to give yourself a little bit of extra consistency, and you'll be fine. Now, in terms of trainer cards here, the most important ones we have. We need Fire Crystal in order to get our energy out the discard, and we're still going to have it. We need Heat Factory Prism Star, which allows us to discard a fire energy from our hand and draw cards. We're still going to have it. We need Giant Half so that we can discard a card from our hand and then search out our energy, and we're still going to have it. Of course, the huge one here is Welder, a supporter card that allows us to attach 2 fire energy from our hand to one of our Pokemon and then draw 3 cards. But the glorious news is, ladies and gentlemen, we're still going to have that as well. We're losing a couple cards, we'll get to them in a moment, but the key cards that we really need here, we're still going to have. Now, the other new card which is amazing in this deck is Red and Blue. Red and Blue is wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. Red and Blue says that you may search your deck for a GX that evolves from one of your Pokemon and evolve it up. If, however, you then discard 2 cards from your hand, you can search for 2 basic energy from your deck and attach them. Well, you're playing Stage 1 GXs here. You need 2 energy on Silvally, 3 energy on Volcarona. I mean, this writes itself, yeah? Just get the energy on with that, then use stuff like Welder. You are not going to be struggling for energy as we go through the game. Jobs are good 'em. And of course we play Reset Stamp here because, Reset Stamp, yeah? It puts your opponent down to a hand equal to their remaining prize cards. You wait till they take a lead, you play it down, boom, on with a comeback. Now, we are losing a couple cards here, but nothing that no one else is also losing. We're losing Guzma, but we're still going to have Custom Catcher, so you can use that to do a bit of gusting. We're losing Ace Roller, but if it's that important, you can always play yourself some Super Scoop Up. It's on a coin flip, but it is an item card, so you could pop that in if you wanted. And we're losing Ultra Ball and Nest Ball, but we are still going to have Cherish Ball to search out your GXs. We've still got Red and Blue, which helps very much indeed. And we've always got stuff like Professor Oak's Setting to search out basics if we're really desperate. Get yourself basics of 3 different types and put them onto the bench, although annoyingly you are generally colourless and fire here, which is a bit of a pain. Or you can use Pokemon Communication. There are options here is what I'm saying here. There are plenty of options. I think this deck will work quite nicely when we get Cosmic Eclipse. Yes, we're losing a couple of cards, but the only cards we're losing are stuff like Tapu Lele, Ultra Ball, Guzma that everyone else is losing. And it's not like we don't have Pokemon Search for this deck. We absolutely do. And then everything else is just really tricks that everyone else is losing. We'll be fine. And you can take this list and start moving it on a little bit. Start playing around with Water Memory for those fire decks or Electric Memory with Electro Power. Really start getting a bit of spicy deck going on. I don't know if this is going to be the best version of Silvally. I do feel very confident Silvally will be a phenomenal deck, but I cannot tell you for certain this will be the best version. I do, however, think Silvally and Volcarona is absolutely worth a test. And I'd like to know what you think about it, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.